Hello everyone, this is going to be our first video for the ML. So we are going to start our machine learning after 2 or 3 videos. For the first 2 or 3 videos we are going to cover all the basics of all the Python libraries that we are going to use in it. So in this particular video we are going to cover NumPy and Matplotlib. So now let's move to our Jupyter Lab. So I always suggest you to use Jupyter Lab instead of the Jupyter Notebook, because the feel in the Jupyter Lab is more good, because it is because of the UI of the Jupyter Lab is more powerful and more good. That is the reason. After that, first import NumPy. As NP. So if the NumPy is not installed in your PC, you can simply in the command prompt you can write pip install NumPy. You can install it. Okay. So the question arises, what is the need of NumPy? So the answer is that because the NumPy gives you array. So NumPy gives you array, and the property of array is that it stores the value in the consecutive locations. So by storing the value in the consecutive locations, NumPy is going to be very fast. It stores the data and work on the data very fast as compared to the list. That is the reason, that is why we are using NumPy in the machine learning, not list. Otherwise, and NumPy is also going to provide you some extra several features that is not provided by the list. Okay. So now let's start and understand the basic of the NumPy. So first we are going to cover the array part of the NumPy. Okay. So suppose this is a list. Now this is a normal list. So the type of this li is list. If we want to convert it into a NumPy array, so np.array, if we pass li, so you can see that now this list is converted into an array. So now let's check the type of this np array. Okay, let's store it in a variable first. Okay. So now you can see that NumPy is providing an nd array. It means the NumPy is so powerful that it can generate an array into n dimensionals. So now let's check. If we print a, so it is, you can see that it is a single dimensional array. So now if I want to convert the single dimension array into a 2-dimensional array, so what I have to do, there is a function in a NumPy is reshape. If we pass it and we pass 2, 2, it converted into a 2-dimensional array of 2 rows and 2 columns. So this is the function of the reshape. Now let's move forward. Now I will give you one more example. One important point in NumPy is that suppose this is a list. It is a normal list. If I print it, you can see that 1, 2, 4 and this is a string, is a particular string. But what happens if we pass it into a NumPy, this particular list? Let's check it how it is going to react. If we passed np.array, this particular list, so now you can see that its particular data type is going to change, and all the elements that are integer in that particular list in the NumPy array is going, all are acting as a string in a particular data type. The data types of that particular list has been changed now by the NumPy, because the list has a property that it can take the heterogeneous data, but NumPy is type of array. It is only going to take a homogeneous data, so it converts the data type of all the element into a particular data type. Now let's moving forward. Now we are going to see np.arrange function. So if we do np.arrange, so it will give you the value up to the number I have passed in it. the number is not going to exclude, so it is going to give you the values from 0 to 4. So what happens if there is a one important thing that I'm going to tell you, it is known as the question mark trick. So why we called it a question mark trick? Because if you type suppose np.arrange and you don't know what are the parameters are going to be in that particular function, so what will you do? So you don't know the parameters and you will face problem. Okay, so if you put a question mark in front of it and you press enter, then it will give you a doc string. So now you can see that arrange function can take start parameter, stop parameter, steps, and the data type. Okay, so now let's see. If I pass np.arrange from 10 to 20, so now you can see the array is generated from 10 to 19. So here is a one more rule. You can see it is first element is included and last element excluded. Okay, this is the rule. Always remember the first element is going to be included and the last element is going to be excluded. So now we are going to do a reshaping and let's see how to convert the arrange array into a two-dimensional array. Okay, so for doing that, let a equals to np.arrange up to 100 and reshape it into 5,30. So now you are going to see that if I give you np.arrange up to 100, so you can see that there are 100 elements are generated here from 0 to 99. But if you pass that np.arrange, it means there are going to be 100 elements and we are going to reshape them into 5,30 matrix. It means it's going to have 5 rows and 30 columns. So if we multiply 5 cross 30, it is 150, but the elements are 100. That is the reason it is giving you an error. Here the reshaping cannot be done because the reshaping matrix multiplication is 150 and the number of elements are different. The multiplication of reshaping element is equal to the array that is in front of it. So if you provide 20 here, it will work fine. So now if you print A, then the matrix is generated of 5,20. Now if you want to do for 10,10 matrix, so here you can see that the matrix is generated of the 10 rows and the 10 columns. This is about the reshaping. So there is one more important concept in the two-dimensional array. It is what happens if suppose I make a 2D array np.array. If I make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I generated a two-dimensional array with 2 rows and 4 columns. So now it is a simply a two-dimensional array with 2 rows and 4 columns. But what will happen if I pass this 2D as in the first row there are going to be 4 columns and in the second row there are going to be a 3 column. So NumPy will going to give you an error or it will work fine. So this is the question. Let's check it. If we do this, now you can see that the NumPy is going to give you for the first element it will make it a list, and for the other element it is a make a list. For the first element there are going to be 4 elements, and for the other there are going to be have 3 elements. So this is the simple basics of the NumPy. Now we are going to see one of the important thing. It is known as broadcasting. It is the important topic of the NumPy, and we are going to use this broadcasting topic when we are going to do the projects on the OpenCV. So when we are going to use this broadcasting. So if there is a np.random .randint, so if you pass the np.random randint, what is going to do? It will give you a random integer value between 1 and 10. So if I pass, then if you print it, so it is giving you 1. If I again do it, it is giving you 4. So it is giving you a random value between the 1 and 10 range. Okay, so but I do not want this. I want to show you something else. If I do 3,6, okay, so now it is going to generate a matrix of 3 rows and the 6 column of all the elements that are going to be in the range of 1 and 10. So if I am going to print A now, so the matrix is generated with 3 rows and 6 columns. Okay, after that I again generated a one more matrix. Oh. So there's some problem in my PC, I don't know why. Okay, now we generated a one more matrix B of 3,6, and there is a one more matrix A of 3,6. If we try to add them, both the matrices, they are going to add correctly. A plus B, if we do that, now you can see that the first element 7 is going to add with 8, 6 is going to add with 1, and 5 is going to add with 6, 11, 2 is going to add with 4, 5 is going to add with 4, 2 is going to add with 7, and 4 is going to add with 3. So all the rows and all the rows of A and all the columns of B are same, then they are working perfectly. We can add them. Okay, but what will happen if we try to add 2,6 with, or we going to try to add 2,3? So if we going to add this or not, let's check it. So it is giving you an error because the shape is not same. So it is giving a broadcast together with shape 3,6 and 2,3. It will not able to add if the shape is not same. So this is our first rule of the broadcasting. Shape should be same. So you can remember the first point, that the shape should be same if you are doing broadcasting. Second point, when you can do broadcasting, okay, suppose if the shape of the first A is 3,6, it is 3,6, but you can have one row and 6 column, then you are able to see there are 6 column and the one row. Now if you add it, it will add perfectly. So this particular column, the first row with 6 column are going to add with each of the row. The 4 is going to add with 1, 5 is going to add with 2, 4 is going to add with 2, 7 is going to add with 6, 5 is going to add with 5, 4 is going to add with 3. Then again for the second one it is going to add, for the third one it is going to add. So how this is going to add with all the 3? So you can make a second rule for it. Second rule is that if there is 1 in a matrix, then cool. Simple. So the second point you can make, that if there is a 1 in a matrix, then cool. Okay. So the second point is, if there is a 1 and the other elements is going to match with either row or a column, then we can add it. So suppose let's take another example. If there is np.random random 1, 10, 3, 6, okay, this is the same matrix A, but if we change this to 3 and this to 1, okay, now they are going to be 1 column and 3 rows. If we try to add it, then the adding will happen, because if there is a 1 in a matrix, then you can add it, and the other element, then the other row or a column should be same. Should be same. So now let's take a one important and a tough example for it. Okay. So now let's check it. The rules are going to work for only 2-dimensional. Now let's move forward for the 3-dimensional. Let's check it for 3-dimensional. This is the A. Okay. We have generated an A of random.random 3, 6. Now let's make a B. This is our B. As now we all know that we can add them, because 3, the rows are matching and the column in there is a 1, and the rule says that if there is a 1 and the other row are matching, then we can add them. Okay, but what will happen if I make it a 3-dimensional array? Now it is a 3-dimensional array or by 4, 3 and 1. So now if we try to add them, will they add? Now let's check it. They will add, because the reason behind it is that the reason is there is a 1. If there is a 1, you have to be cool. The rows are matching, so it is generating a 4-dimensional matrix in which 3-dimensional matrix in which we all are adding 3, 6 with 3, 1 and they are 4. Simple as that. So we can add them if the rule is working for the 3-dimensional matrix also. If we pass 500 also, it will also add them. So now you can see that it is also working now, fine. Cool. Now let's moving forward. So this is about the introduction of NumPy. There is one more thing that I want to discuss about the NumPy is that, now let's take the data equals to np.random.randn. If you pass np, then it will provide you a value data. So it provides you a random value, okay. But if I pass upon 1000 over there, the data is going to give you a 1000 values, okay. So these are the 1000 values. You can see that some of the values are in negative, some of the values are in positive. So what is the property of this rand n in it, okay. So we are going to see that if we pass data.mean, so you can see that it is coming 0.00. If we approximate, the value will come up to 0. So it means that np.random.randn generate a values 1000 values whose mean is approximately 0, and data.standard deviation. Yeah. And if we do the standard deviation, it will approximately up to 1. So that is the feature of the random.randn. It will generate a random values and the mean of that value is going to be 0 and the standard deviation is going to be 1. This feature we are going to use afterwards in the machine learning concept. Now the last thing and the last topic, then we will move toward the matplotlib. For this we are going to see np.linespace. So it is giving you the starting point, end point, numbers, okay. So if I generate a starting point up to 10 to 1000, so it is going to generate a value from 10 to up to 1000. So you can see that the difference between all the elements are it generated a 50 values because the values that are giving here are 50 and generated 50 values. If I pass 100, then it generates the 100 value up to 10 to 1000, and the difference it will generate them like that they can take the difference between all the elements are going to be of 10. There are 100 elements. Okay, suppose if I make 1000 here, then you can see that it makes the 1000 values with the difference of 1. No, it makes more value, I think. So if I do 1, then it will work fine. Yeah, now it is working fine. If we make a value from 1 to 1000 with the difference of 1000, then it will generate 1000 values. So now we are going to start with the matplotlib. So let's make a new notebook. Okay. Okay. In the matplotlib, first of all, we have to import it. After importing, suppose if the matplotlib is not in your PC, you can simply do pip install matplotlib, and the matplotlib is also make 3D figures and good features and the good visualization. But for for the better visualization and for the better figures, there is one more library, and we will also going to study that in the next further videos, that is Seaborn. Okay, we are going to Seaborn also in the upcoming video. Okay, so in this video we are going to little bit study about the matplotlib. So let's generate a dummy data because we have to visualize a graphs. Okay, so for visualizing the graph, we also want a data for it. Okay, so first let's generate a data. So for data, okay, I want one more library. An important library is import numpy np. Okay, if you study data equals to, so we are going to generate a 2 comma from 0 comma 2 into np.py. We are going to generate 100 values. Okay, so what am I going to do? We are going to generate the value up to 0 to 2 comma np.py. So what is the value of pi is 3.14. Let's visualize it into a 3D image. So np.py means 180 degree. Okay, but if we do 2 multiplication with it is 360 degree. So we are going to generate 100 value from 0 to 360 degrees. But these are the values that are going to be in a numerical form, not in the degree. Okay, so if we see data, so and do not pass np dot space. Now if I print data, so there are the value from 0 to 100 that are going to between 0 to upon 360 degrees. Okay, that are in the numerical form. So what I want to do with this, it is a data, so let's name it x. This is our x-axis. I want it on my x-axis, and for the y-axis I want to do np.sin x. Okay, if I do np.sin x, so it's the sine of all the values. Okay, now I am generated a matplotlib object as plt. Now I want to plot it, plt.plot x comma y. So is the look is coming. This is a sine graph. Okay, that we have simply generated by these 3 lines of code, that with the help of the line space we have generated a dummy data, and that this is how the sine graph will look. Okay, so you can generate a cos graph also. Now I'll do it cos. Okay, this is how the cos graph is going to look. Now let's do with 10. Let's check with 10. This is how the 10, if we do this data for 0 to 360 degree, how the 10 graph is react. The value is going to infinity, then again value is going to infinity, and all the values are straight. Okay, so this is a little bit of generating a dummy data, and we are by the help of the line space. Okay, now let's see some of the pie chart. Okay, plt.py. If we pass three data 10, 20, 30. So now you can see that a value circle is generated with the data 10, 20 and 30. Accordingly it will manage. So you can pass the many features in it. The pie takes, if you don't know, you can do the question mark trick again. Now you can see that explode, it is taking labels, colors, abstract shadow. You can also put a shadow, the radius. So now let's try it. Okay, with we'll pass the parameters 10, 20, 50. And what should we give? Radius equals to 5 is okay. And what else we want? I think color, but color I think we first pass in red, yellow, blue. And let's put the shadow also true. Shadow equals to 2. Okay. Color, what is the problem in color? It is colors. Yeah. So how this is now looking? Radius, well, let's put the radius up to 2. Now it is looking fine. Okay, so you can generate the pie chart accordingly, that as much as you want. Okay, so now let's try something new with let's try something creative. Okay, what we do, if we do plt.py, and instead of passing this list we pass np.linspace, and we pass up to 1, 100. Okay, so this is some sort of rainbow is generated with all the very different values. So it generated a 50 values, I think, because line space takes 50 values in it. But if I do 10, then it will, I think, work fine. Yeah, if I generated up to 10, then the pie chart has generated 10 values, 10 bars in it. Okay, now let's move forward and see something more. But the thing is, we are studied sine, cos, tan and pie chart. Okay, now I want to tell you after that, what about to generate a straight line after that, because after the few videos we are going to study the machine learning, and our first going is to be a regression. So we are going to see a linear regression in it. So now let's generate a data for the linear regression by the help of the NumPy and plot it into a graph. Okay, now let's see this thing. So we are going to generate x data equals to np.linspace. I want 1 to 100 values. Okay, we got 100. Okay, if I generate y equals to, what is the, you all know that normal linear equation is equals to y equals to mx plus c. This is a normal equation for the, this is a normal linear equation, y equals to mx plus c. We want this sort of value for the y's, because we have x now, we want y with the values of mx plus c. Now let's give some slope, m equals to 2 is fine, and now let's say c equals to also 3. Good. okay, M2 and C3, and now generate y equals to M into x plus c. Now we have generated the values for y, we have x. Now let's check y also. So we have generated the values for y, 100 values for y and 100 values for x. Now let's plot it on a graph. Plt.plot x comma y. So now you can see that a straight line is coming from plt.plot. If I want 1000 values, okay, not 100 this time. Now let's increase the value. So okay, the graph is still looking same, but what will happen if I do not want to generate a plot, I want to generate a scatter. I want some dots in my graph. Okay, so for creating dots, I will do plt.scatter x comma y. So now you can see that the line is little bit dark. The dark line is simply reflecting that there are dots, and if you implemented so many dots, it will act as a straight line, because line is a mixture of dots only. But if I do the value is equals to 50, then you will see the difference. Now you're able to see the points, all the points differently, that these are the different points. So scatter is going to generate 50 different points. Okay, so this is a linear data, but when you got data in a real life, it is not going to be perfectly linear. It is going to be some ups and downs in it. Okay, so we are going to generate a noise in it. Okay, so for generating noise, what should we do? We have studied y equals to we have y, we have x, and we have y. So we can do np dot random. We have 50 values, so we have np dot random dot rand n, and we are going to generate 50 values. Okay, and we are going to add them into y. Okay, so this np.random.random is going to generate a noise now. We add this value. Now if we try and we store it into a y only, now y equals to this. Now this y is going to reflect the data with some noise. Okay, now let's check the difference. If we try to scatter it, boom, you can see that there is some noise is generated, but it is a very less noise. And now let's increase it little bit. Now you will get a perfect view for it. Okay, now are you seeing it? Then the noise is generated little bit. Now let's more try to visualize it. If I do with 1000 data, yeah, we are getting an error because we have to do it 1000. Boom. So now you are able to see that the data is generated with some error, with some noise. I think this is now giving you a more perfect view. So this is how the data we are going to see in the videos. So it is some sort of data that we are going to see in a video. It is a noise that we are getting into a linear data. That's what we are going to see in the linear regression after 2 or 3 videos. Now let's see something more about this. This is the x value. What if I generate, now let's generate L equals to, now generate, let the radius equals to be 10. If we generate x equals to r cross np dot cos x. This is my L, and my m equals to r cross np dot sin y. if I generate the value now, plt.plot l comma n. Okay, it is giving me an error. What is the error? Oh yeah. Oh, I have not generated the value of y now. Y equals to, again this value I want. Oh yeah, we can do with x also. It should work fine. Now you can see that a circle is generated. Oh, it is not looking like a circle, but this is a perfect circle. The reason because the parameter that is passed by the matplotlib are different from the y-axis and the x-axis. We have to correct them. So we can do plt.figure size equals to 4,4 is going to be fine, I think. So now you can able to see the field that we have generated a circle from the cos and the sine values. So this is a little bit about the matplotlib. So if you want to study more and go deep into that, because we are going to touch the basics of them, and our main going focus is going to be our machine learning topics, and we will deep dive into them. We will able to learn NumPy and matplotlib into these video when we are going to implement that our machine learning algorithms. Then we are able to we are going to study and we are going to connect it to them. At the end of the whole session, you will completely able to learn about these matplotlib and NumPy. So if you want to study them, you can simply go to NumPy and you can simply type NumPy and you can see the documentation of NumPy from the Python and the matplotlib from here. So in the next videos we are going to see some of the other more topics, and I will also provide you the GitHub link where you can grab this all code. Next video you are going to get some feel about the pandas and the seaborn, and we are also going to see about the 3D views of the images. We are going to some play with images, and in the third video we are going to do one project. Then we will start our machine learning journey. So this is it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.